Well, good morning, beautiful people. I'm Kieran Siemens, and I'm going to do some drawing for you today. I draw every day, so if you enjoy the video in any way, come back and watch some more. There's about 18 or 1900 drawing videos on my channel at the moment. So if you do like it, go back through some of the old ones. Some good ones in there. So today, we are just going to put down a white piece of paper and we're just going to explore what's hidden in that white paper. What is going to show its face? Because we never know until the ink hits the paper. Sounds fun? Let's do it. Good morning. Here we go. Gonna get a nice pen. That is today's chosen weapon. And we're going to be using some Winsor Newton ink. And we're just going to kind of explore the paper. Sometimes I just like to draw down a line or a circle or a scribble or a splash, just to kind of get my mind thinking. And these are just real kind of like ink sketches, if you want. If you want to think about it as a kind of an inky sketch. And the beautiful part about these drawings is that we don't know what they're going to be. And I just let my mind relax and I just draw something. And sometimes it works beautifully, and sometimes it not so beautifully. But today we're aiming for a beautiful one. And it makes me feel good to draw this way, because I feel like it's almost like meditation or something like that. It just frees up the mind, just relaxes you. That's kind of nice. Let's give him some ears. He's kind of got like, he seems like he's got some kind of hat on there. So it could be almost like a superhero or something like that. Let's just shade in that distant ear. And thank you very much for all the comments yesterday. You guys are you're amazing. What can I say? I love all of you, every single one of you. The comments that you guys send me and the requests and everything's just, I love it. So keep it coming. You can never send too many comments. It's become like an enjoyable part of my evening when I sit back in the end of the night and going through some of the comments and stuff like that. It's quite fantastic. All right. It's amazing to see how different each person is and each comment is. It's you never know what's going to be in the comments until you actually open the comments and there they are staring at you. I think we've got to about 1900 videos now. That's a lot of videos on there. So I try to do these every day, but there's a lot in there that still hasn't been. I'm sure you haven't seen them all. Have you seen them all? Have you? If you have, please let me know. Alright, I'm doing some kind of little goofy character here with some kind of hat. I almost feel like the hat should be like a nice red or something, you know. Let's give him some wonky teeth. That always puts a spin on a character, doesn't it? Nice wonky teeth. That's kind of funky. Oh, Mr. Mira's gone running. He can hear a dog barking in the distance. And the beautiful thing about my day is that, you know, half my day is spent making children's books or illustrations for books. And then there's a section of my day where I just relax and just draw whatever comes into my mind. And those, I did it over one of the Inktober's a few years back. To kind of make my drawings kind of stand out a little bit more from just a single image. I actually started to video them. And it became a lovely adventure, really. I mean, it became quite a special thing where you could actually see a drawing grow, and it became just as interesting for me as it was for some of the other people watching. And since then I've just continued to do it. Right, so and sometimes my brain is just way ahead of me. It's kind of like I'm drawing that, but then my other side of my brain says, oh, you need to put a hand in or something, you need to, you know, it's kind of like this battle in your mind. Let's give him some big long gnarly fingernails. And I like to draw in Indian ink for the sheer excitement of it. It's this whole thing that whatever you draw, it's there. There's no erasing. There's no going back, you know. Like I found some of the times, like I've just started using an iPad and things like that. And I find like, oh, so if I do this line like that, boom, and I don't like it, just take it away. And I kind of felt like, well, it's taken some of that kind of part of the adrenaline. It's kind of like driving a fast car or driving a car that's got like a sat nav, and you know, it kind of took a lot of it away. And I love this feeling of like, I've drawn that finger, that is set in stone. There's no correcting it, there's no changing it, and that makes the drawing all that much more beautiful in my mind. The fact that these are my first impressions, these are what my brain is saying, no corrections in there, no fixes in there, and that is something that I love about Indian ink. It's there, that is the hand, you know, there is no changing it. And that makes this whole drawing something very beautiful in my mind. Because, you know, even for me, sometimes when I look back, you know, I might look at a drawing like a couple of days later, I might pick up a drawing and go, oh, because it's all immediate. I haven't got time to think about it. And sometimes you kind of look back over it and you go, oh, I love the way that hand is there. Oh, what was I thinking when I drew that hand? What was, you know? So it's a real kind of catching and freeze framing all what's going on in my mind at the moment. And there's a lot going on in my mind at the moment, you know. I've got all these kids books going on in my head. I've got my future stories and books that I'm constantly with a little notepad. You know, if I sit down at the end of the evening, just after my dinner, I sit down, I kind of grab a notepad and I start writing down a little idea about a man who, what, you know, like, and I've constantly got all these little stories running around in my brain. And this way of drawing is such a beautiful way of kind of letting some of those thoughts out, letting things just happen. So I've got a little kind of fat superhero. Shall I give him an S? Super... Oh, he kind of looks like a donkey, yeah, doesn't he? So let's just call him Super Donkey. Now, I love that title already. Super Donkey, copyright at Kieran Siemens 2024. That's the fold in his t-shirt there. What a brilliant idea if it was like Super Donkey, wouldn't it be great? Super Donkey. Super Donkey. What a great character, and that's his little superhero hat there. So that's what we were thinking. That's what we were drawing. That's what my second brain is already thinking. This is like some kind of superhero. My first brain hasn't really woken up. My first brain is probably still thinking about my toast this morning, you know, or something. And that's what's beautiful about just letting your mind kind of talk with itself. You know, there is actual studies into the brain and stuff like that, that when you're working things out, your brain is basically talking to itself. You know, it's like there's almost the same way that a conversation is happening. Your brain is going pop, 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 pop. If you're looking at something and trying to work it out, your brain is still going pop, 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 in the exact same patterns. So this is probably what's going on here. You know, maybe in like part one of my brain and the second part of my brain are kind of like having these kind of conversations back and forward, trying to work out what is today's drawing. That nib is just kind of like, sometimes I push the nibs too hard and then they all kind of bend and buckle a little bit. Super Donkey, they call him Super Donkey. Donkey, Super Donkey with his big gnarly fingers. Do donkeys have fingers? My donkey has fingers. All my donkeys have fingers. Don't you know that? Especially if it's a super donkey. Lovely. So if I see loads of comics coming out and, you know, Stan Lee, or not Stan Lee because he's not here anymore, but Marvel have got Super Donkey coming out, I'll be coming after you. The creator of Super Donkey. No wonder what his kind of magical power would be, you know. Where's the magic? Tell me, what's the magical powers of a super donkey? Beautiful. I love that. Super donkey. Let's give him a little cape. And the villain would be Farmer Joe or something like that. There's his little cape. Now we've got to give him some big pants. Fabulous. I used to love comics when I was a kid. Well, I'm still a big kid, aren't I? So I still kind of love comics. I used to go to this place, I think it was in Worthing in the south of England. And we used to go to this kind of, it was like a comic shop. But what they would do is if you brought like 10 comics, then they would give you, you could kind of trade them in for 8 off the shelf, you know. So you would always kind of be going there and kind of like, almost like a comic library almost. It was such a fantastic place. And I remember all the early comics like 2000 AD and what an inspiration those were. What a great part of your childhood. And now most kids are on iPads and stuff like that, but, you know. Super donkey. Super donkey. He's not an ass, he's a super donkey. Yes, that is Fandabby-Dozy. Fandabby-Dozy, Fandabby-Dozy. Super donkey is Fandabby-Dozy. It's nice the way that these drawings just kind of appear. It's almost like, I love that kind of freedom that it gives me, that it's kind of, you never really know what's coming until you look down and you're staring at Super Donkey. Let's get some shading in there. I remember especially the older comics used to be very heavily shaded. You know, all this kind of cross hatching and lots of kind of black areas and I've given him 2 toes. I don't know why I've given him 2 toes. Maybe because he's a mutant superhero donkey. Maybe that's what it is. Of course. There's always a reason for it. We'll write that into the story. his dad was a donkey and his mum was a camel or something like that, you know. Beautiful. You know what? I just had an idea. It's like we'll do that kind of shape with these long ears like that. Let's get a little. Oh, this nib is starting to die. Come back to life, nib. That's the big beam of light up into the sky. They're calling for him. There's the city in the background. That's the city. Cool. Put some more in this side. That's all the windows in the buildings in the distance there. And that is the amazing, the fantastic, the superhero that beats all superheroes. They call him Super Donkey. Fantastic. Super Donkey. Created by dun 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 Kieran Siemens. Coming to a cinema near you soon. Thank you for all the comments recently. You guys are just fantastic. And if you do know a friend who likes kind of art and art drawings and art chat and a bit of silliness, send them one of my videos. We're always happy to see new faces. Always happy to see new faces. So we're going to frame this bad boy here. We're going to put a nice frame around this one. There we are. That is, oh, it looks so beautiful. Does it look beautiful? That is so beautiful for my eye. Let's just run it over the top of the... It's gorgeous. Who knew that we were going to be drawing Super Donkey today? Let's just check out some of the shading on this, keep it a little bit consistent. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Beautiful. You're the most beautiful donkey I've ever seen. the most handsome donkey on the planet. And that is Super Donkey. Isn't he beautiful? If you think my donkey is beautiful, write and tell me. And if you've got a better name than Super Donkey, tell me that too. He spends his days on a little farm, but when the call comes into the sky for Super Donkey, he springs into action. And there he is in all his glory. That is such a beautiful drawing. I absolutely love that. I'm so happy I did this drawing today. Fantastic. So, Super Donkey is today's drawing. I can't believe I drew Super Donkey. And it just came from the brain, you know. It just came from that drawing, and you start getting a conversation between your two brains. They're going, yeah, let's do this, man. Yeah, oh, it looks like Super Donkey. Yes, yes, success. We have completed a mission. Thank you very much for being here today, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's great to have you on board. I try to draw every day, a new drawing, a new direction, something wild and wacky. And if you enjoy that and you enjoy the mad chat and drawing and everything together, let me know. Send me a comment. Don't be shy. Oh, I see you hiding in the back there. Don't be shy. Say hello and send me a comment. And I will see you again tomorrow for something so fabulous in ink, of course. See you again. Bye-bye.